magical people to this celestial online temple. This is a place where I channel readings for the collective from my higher self, source, divine, my inner wisdom, and I do that through my psychic sense, my intuition, but I also do it through invocation. I do it through divination of cards, dice. I do that through scrying. Whatever way comes natural at the time. I've got all my tools around me, and today we are honoring the sea goddess, the sea siren. So all you witchy sea spirits or people who are now being brought to work with the energy of the sea goddess or the sea god, whatever way that uniquely comes through for you, welcome to this space. What we're all realizing and waking up to, if you're here, is how deep the unconscious truly does go. We all know the common trope of a siren has this dark, luring essence to her. While she is beautiful and holds the mysteries of the universe, there is a aura of fear that penetrates those who step into her field. The sea goddess, the river goddess, the water consciousness that is the unconscious, showing you even deeper who you truly are. Okay? So the past few weeks, I've been uncovering deeper codes in relation to water consciousness as I've had the opportunity to have access to be by a flowing creek every single day. And one day I went out and meditated, and the river gifted me this really beautiful, soft, hair-like, long green moss. And I looked at the water, and I just had this psychic imprint come over me that this was mermaid hair. And you guys will hear a kitten playing around in the back. And it was a gift from the sea goddess. And my job was to braid it and honor it and hang it on my altar. Hold on, you guys. This kitten needs to explore elsewhere. Hold on. And so I brought it home and I braided it, and I've been using it as a constellation resource. If you don't know what that is, you should look into constellation therapy. But I've been using it as a constellation resource, and I've been recently reading the book Returning to Membership in Earth Community by Francesca Mason Boring, and it's all about nature constellations. And I'm just allowing this small gift of beauty to continue to teach me. I'm staring at it right now as we talk, as it's braided into a circle. I weaved it into a braid, and then I made it into like a little wreath. So I have it here today. And it's an interesting analogy. The people who are here need to understand that to truly be in surrender to the unconscious mind while allowing the unconscious to bubble up into consciousness, we have to honor her mystery. In esoteric practices, the conscious is known as masculine and the unconscious is known as feminine. So I refer to it as her time and time again. But doing so brings also a deeper understanding of the nature of the unconscious itself, because something happened to me a few weeks ago where I was having a really hard day and I couldn't stop crying, and my partner simply just pulled me closer to them and started brushing my hair and wiping my tears in silence, and it was very sweet. And I had this whole recognition of that safe space that is nurturing the feminine, or the unconscious. That is, we may not know why something arises, we may not know why it's painful, but the importance of tending to her beauty with not just devotion, routine care, but openness and love, and even just the simple act of brushing your hair and braiding it, or actually doing weavings, for instance, embroidery, or making jewelry, or baskets, or quilting, or whatever it may be. These are all very, very healing modalities and actions and creative pursuits that are very healing in this time, but not just healing for the people who are here hearing this message. It's a space that brings you it opens up the door deeper in that space for you to have psychic intuition, downloads, desires come to the surface, guidance, or whatever it may be. And as I said that, I just opened the deck to see the oyster card. Right? It opens the space for you to be able to observe that the oyster has been forming this pearl, your life, your desires, your dreams, for a very long time, and it's still in its forming stage. So don't you dare tell yourself that you are without abundance. It has quite literally been forming throughout every unconscious and conscious movement you've made thus far. You oyster. Don't psychologically trick yourself into thinking there's no pearl in your center. There's no worth being cultivated and culminated. There's no value. Don't you dare. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and get into this message. As you know, take what resonates, discard the rest, or save it for another day. You know, a lot of people watch readings on the internet and completely forget about them, especially if you're someone who watches readings for fun. You might feel something resonates slightly, not even remember that something happens that reading predicted or confirmed. And for others of you, you don't watch these regularly, and this is a rare gem for you, and you will return to the words over and over again. But with all that being said, we're all here to receive something, whether it be confirmation, guidance, synchronicities, whatever it is. But not every message will be for you right now or in the future, and maybe for your neighbor. using the Cosmic Creatures deck. That's my favorite deck, I think, ever. I feel like this collective, I keep hearing hymns and seeing a church. And this may resonate with people differently, but there's something being redefined about the concept of worship for you. And there's a plane flying over while I say this. There's something being redefined about the concept of worship. And so your direct path right now is the focus on devotion. And to meditate on the meaning of those two words, their differences, and then see the actual meaning of the word versus society's accepted definition of the word versus your inner belief about what the word means to you. What does it mean to be devoted to something? Where out around you do you see someone devoted and find inspiration or encouragement or confirmation from that person? What does the term worship mean to you? Where do you look inside of yourself and feel an imbalance relating to its definition? Likely could be surrounded by a societal programming having to do with what worship meant to you growing up, or what worship meant to the world growing up. You know, it's not a coincidence that we're talking about the sea unconscious goddess, the sea siren, the mermaid, the unconscious feminine consciousness of the waters, because we have been living in a culture that is highly patriarchal and masculine focused. So, what does it mean to you? And remember, you're not alone in your experiences. You've had that define your relativity to these words. The reason that's coming through, guys, is because there's something that you crave to do so much, and you've already, like I said, the oyster's already forming, and the only thing that holds you back from just being in the present moment and accepting that you're already abundant because you're already working on this thing and it's already come to you in the future is that you tell yourself you haven't started yet, or you tell yourself that it's not working out, or you psychologically trick yourself, whether conscious or unconscious, into thinking that you're just not worth it, okay? And not believing you're worth something can actually quite literally make your mind make things invisible. For instance, having a partner who is the one, who loves you, who shows up for you in the best ways they can, in the ways that you prayed and hoped for, but you don't believe you're worth it. And so, in your mind, that relationship that you seek is actually invisible to you. You'd find that the arrival of redefining your worth and standing on your value and integrity is what actually realigns your new timeline and brings about your Prince Charming, or brings about your divine union. It's not the latter of looking for it outside. And we've heard it all before. It's really is cliche at this point to say, don't look outside of yourself, look within. But who is actually doing that? Because the ones who are doing that, and I do believe some of you guys are here, that means you've been feeling and actually doing the work. And doing the work means feeling water, emotion. You know that phrase, you can only heal what you feel. You can intellectualize everything else, which is what most of us are doing on the day-to-day. But those of you who have actually swam deep into the depths of your murky, unconscious mind and sat with that which you completely don't understand about yourself, but somehow still controls you, that beckons all of your conscious mind at times when it's triggered to start calling you names that you know you are not, but for some reason you're meant to alchemize that reflection in the darkness. If you're here, devotion and worship are your message, because you're already doing it. But have you become devoted to the computer or the actual physical tools themselves, or have you become devoted to the unfolding of your life's purpose, which is woven through every single thing you desire, not just your career, not just your person, not just your family. It's woven into every little thing, down to the food you eat each day and find pleasure in partaking. It's down to the way that you feel when you put your feet bare upon the earth in a new place that you've traveled to. Every single aspect of your waking and sleeping life from moment to moment is it. And you're here on mission. You've known for a while you have this thing to contribute, okay? It's a contribution to the whole. An offering that you've been manifesting or working on for quite some time now. And there's new things that have manifested along the way that are still baby sprouts, that you look at those and try to define that, oh, that one thing, that soul's mission is still a sprout. No. It's the mother tree that is making all the other life around it possible. So don't forget. Some of you really need to go back into your journals and your notebooks and just look at things from the past. You can even do kind of divination with it, where you just open it and see what page you turn to and what message that it has for you. And some of you need to go on a journey of rereading quite a lot of what you've already written, because you are awakening to the fact that you're a channel. All right, so the people here are going through an awakening of realizing what a timeline jump really means, what it means to be in the energy of time with a capital T, and what a timeline jump really means. This is not some fantastical magical language. This just means you change the trajectory of events and circumstances in your life based on the resolution of karma that you have intentionally done within your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. it's a wild ride. All right, so some of you guys are, well, I pull the rooster reverse. A lot of this, whether you're actually a feminine presenting person or not, everyone listening to this message will understand this. We are decentering toxic masculinity. We're decentering, a lot of people say decentering men. And while I do agree with that, I want to take it deeper for the language to be expanded upon. We're decentering arrogance. We are decentering control and manipulation. We are decentering that which asks us to not heal. That which asks us to stay frozen in compliance. We are decentering that. Okay, so it's way bigger than a gender. Okay, we are decentering that which is keeping us drained. If you see yourself as the archetype of a water element, for one moment, see it this way. Every day when you talk to someone, they come and they drink from you. There is somebody or something in your life that when they walk around you, it takes all but a drop left. And then you have to refill your cup, and then you have to say no to everyone else because you have no more left to give the people that were only going to take a little bit in the first place. Mind you guys, this is real. What I'm saying, seeing it as this picture. All right, you are decentering that loud energy that you're only focused on because it's loud and it won't go away, like a rooster call in the morning. Okay, it's like a broken alarm clock. All right, and that could be a message for some of you, but it's like, and even deeper in that, actually we'll stop on that for a moment, of the broken alarm clock that just came through. Some of you are literally in a schedule that is causing you to be in a false timeline, and you're starting to pick up on the timeline psychologically as spirit informs you of it through your mind and body. So you're seeing synchronicities, but you're still in that past timeline physically because of the broken alarm clock. You are on a set schedule that is not actually in support of this new timeline. And so for some of you, it's leap of faith time. It's jumping into the deep end time. Okay, it's walking into the unknown. And that scares you because it means leaving this person or this thing or this belief that you have centered, and now you're going to center mystery and nourishment and things that, quite frankly, in our culture and societies have been demonized to center, like magic, creation, creativity. And yeah, you don't even do it because you think, oh, I want to be famous. You do it because you are uniquely and innately creative, and it's beckoning to be centered. And then somehow you end up famous anyways. You know what I mean? That's the timeline we are moving into. But some of you just need to actually hit the button, actually press send, actually say no. Like, some of you are, I'm seeing it like this. Some of you are at the train station, and every day at 12 o'clock, the train comes to go to the place that you want to go to, your new timeline. But every day you just watch it come and then watch it go instead of walking on. And you imagine yourself walking on, and you imagine what it would be like to finally go on that journey. But again, day to day, you stay and you watch the train come and you watch it go. When is time for you to follow what you actually know is your next step. Because that simple following of your intuition to take the next step is the creation of the new timeline. We have to get out of false systems of magical thinking that come from how much trauma we truly have, that our government and society has placed on us to think that everything is going to happen in some traumatic way because they prey on our survival. Not every time you choose to change or make a shift or hop timelines is going to be traumatic. But when you've gone through things in the past that have been, what else can you do but have fear, false expectancy appearing real? Expectancy is a projection of the future. You are expectant of something to go the way it once did. Although when you hop on that train and it leads you off to your new destination, the sense of bewilderment and enchantment, nourishment and magic, the goosebumps, the warm feeling of writing your own story will overtake you and sweep you away like a cloud, and you will no longer worry about the past. There are loyal friends. There are friends in high places. And what I mean by that is high vibrational seers that come to confirm the path for you along the way. There is loyalty. Okay, devotion, loyalty. Let's meditate on these words and their similarities and their differences. What does loyalty mean to you? What has society told you that it is? And what's been your experience with it thus far? How does loyalty relate to love for you? And I want you to imagine loyalty like the loving eyes of your familiar, your dog, or your cat, but really your dog, looking up at you with such love and presence, and you are their master, their point of focus. You are who they are here to protect, to love, to be in joy with, to be in sadness with. Look to nature to redefine and clear out the distortions attached to these words that then will reverberate in your subconscious, redefining memories and beliefs attached to those words. Devotion, worship, loyalty, love. There's people here who you guys don't tell everyone how deep of the magic you have seen. You guys don't share with everyone how deep. Another plane is going over. That's so funny. The way that you navigate your subliminal realities, if you're here, it's like a lushness that is a secret that you keep to yourself. I've got the magic in me. Okay, that song came through just now. The dragon card came out, and I'm not surprised. Welcome. the dragon card comes out in most of my readings because my guides are the dragon and my higher self is a dragon. If you know, you know. Use your magic as a way to interact even deeper with your unconscious, okay? Use your guides and employ them on missions. This is what's coming through. You guys already have a secret, magical, sacred relationship with the divine. And that's up-leveling. Employ it. So what this means is knowing your capabilities as a human being and knowing what the hell you have no control over. Knowing what work is for the dragons and knowing what work is for you. And in the meantime, you weave and you create. You cast and you cultivate. Some of you here are supposed to do, and I will make this a resource on my website eventually, but you're supposed to do a visualization of you meeting your dragon and have your initiation into meeting your dragon or meeting the dragon. It depends on how you look at it, but there is levels to this, and I can do a whole video about that. But some of you, you're being asked. Now, you'll know especially if the dragon is for you, because a lot of people who work with dragon magic, they first start with snake magic. So you could be heavily working with the energy of the serpent, and that's illuminating into the dragon. Or you could even work with the dragonfly, which is one of my favorite entities on this earth. And then now it's ascending even higher into dragon. Okay, but there's a ferocity that you are meant to encounter that restructures your belief system about what it means to be protected, what it means to be protected by the ferocity of spirit, what it means to be chosen by a dragon. Okay, so with that comes deeply, obviously, a deep download and understanding of the element of fire and the sun. And you would understand now that the sun, S-U-N, which should be S-O-N because the sun is a circle, but S-U-N has always been, since we awakened here as humans on earth, a point of reverence for us and a point of information in how we communicate to the divine. Because simply just the rising of the sun and the setting of the moon, and how we have 12 hours in a day and 12 hours of nighttime, is understanding the realm that we live in here, understanding time with a capital T, time as a gift. And your dragons have a lot to teach you in that process. And when you step into that, and like I said, I will make a resource available soon, and I'll put it in the comments of this video whenever I do. But whenever you start to tune into this ascended aspect of yourself through your own super consciousness and connection to source, you begin to see unity consciousness at work through synchronicities even more. So like I said, you could be seeing synchronicities already, but just wait until you're in the new timeline's version of the synchronicities. Because when you tap into unity consciousness, especially on a routine basis, and you make it a skill to be able to go there, to communicate with the divine, this greater web is woven that you could only just have gratitude to be experiencing it. It truly is here. Now the message coming through is integrity. You realize what you're doing is so much bigger than you. And when you know that, it can become scary like a dragon. It's like if you knew that you are going to encounter a dragon here in the next couple of months, you might avoid walking down certain alleyways and corridors. But if you knew that you were actually going to become best friends with it and become a rider of the dragon, Ride the Dragon by F.K.A. Twigs, we love that one. If you knew that you were going to actually become a priestess of enlightenment in service to the web, you might want to walk a little faster. Or your mind might think you're really excited, but your body is terrified. What's coming through is that scene in Narnia, the first one, the Chronicles of Narnia, where Aslan has rescued Edmund and he roars over them all. I remember as a kid seeing that, and it's impactful. It's the same energy here. Ferocity, fury, these words. See how they sit with you. Because also to work with a dragon is to understand the power of the breath and air. To understand the power of clearing your field. The element of air is very woven into the dragon, for the dragon flies. And by that I mean dragonfly, but the dragon itself flies. When you truly awaken to the fact that what you do matters, you either become super responsible or you feel like the fact that what you do matters makes you a victim to something greater. What do you mean I have value and worth and purpose and I can contribute? Okay, and we all have this shadow aspect of ourselves, and what she's asking for is for her hair to be braided and to be honored. We don't need to know everything. That's why we sleep at night and embrace the darkness. guys. I just pulled the pig, and I'm actually going to read this from the book because although I have my own intuitive message coming from it, I don't know, I just feel like there's got to be something in there. Let's see what this has to say. Generosity, abundance, and indulgence. Abundance is available to you. The pig can sniff opportunities out of the dirt, drawing up bits of luck from nowhere. If you've been procrastinating, guys, what did I just say? The pig is telling you there is an opportunity right under your nose. Guys, it's the pearl. The pig moves on its own timetable. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up, guys. Hold on. Time. The pig moves on its own timetable at its own pace and measures success on its own terms. If you've been comparing your path to others, the pig is showing you that that is futile, and the only way forward is to focus on your own way. Make your plans solid by creating your own footsteps in the mud and moving past any ruts. The pig is heavily associated with the earth, and so it is only natural that the pig would love to enjoy earthly pleasures. Be careful of overindulgence and keep a healthy balance between needs and wants. A generous animal, the pig also shares its wealth with others, amplifying abundance with reciprocity. I love that reciprocity came through in that last word. Reciprocity is one of the words that, again, just how in this reading I'm asking you to redefine words for you and explore them. Reciprocity is one of those for me that I actually encountered such deep transformation by just sitting with that word and allowing it to truly show itself to me. And reciprocity is the understanding of giving and receiving. Giving is receiving, and receiving is giving. And we need to understand the energy of reciprocity when it comes to earth and earthly matters. Now, what the pig brought up, obviously, was time. And so understand these messages I've had for you here about time are truly important little crystals and nuggets that you can use as a point of focus to expand different understandings you already have. But to talk about the earthly treasures aspect, because when we talk about dragon energy, some people, like if you think of dragons only like the desolation of smog, you think of a dragon as something that hoards energy, treasure. It hoards anything, it collects. Now, you know what? There's actually a dragon in the third Chronicles of Narnia movie too, which I think tells a really beautiful story of the dragon as a little boy gets shapeshifted into one. But treasure, right? Dragons are associated with treasure and hoarding. And for that, we have to actually unpack the word hoarding. You have to see that dragons throughout time, all right, and I'm channeling here. Dragons throughout time, they used to roam the earth and skies. And thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, they were banished to Earth's demise. They were banished to dungeons and lairs. They were used for sport, for egoically like power-hungry, focused people that, you know, that episode of fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender is my favorite episode of the whole show, and it's literally my favorite show that was ever made. But the part where he meets the Ascended Masters, the two dragons, okay? They were once masters, but as humans became conscious in an egoic way after whatever you want to call it, the fall or whatever, whenever man split from earth, dragons then became demons and slaves, and they become trapped. You know, we also got Game of Thrones coming through here, you know, when those people steal her dragons and she has to cage her dragons underground, right? And so many people hated the way Game of Thrones ended, but you would not understand that it was more than Daenerys. It was about the dragons reclaiming the land. Okay, so many people are upset that she became power hungry and just scorched everything. But the dragons were made to be extinct. Okay, so you understand this deeper. And so the way we communicate with dragons now is in the subtle realms, in the spiritual realm. All right, whether you believe they ever physically roamed the earth or not, it doesn't matter. Every single culture on this earth has a story about a dragon in their history or in their religious lore, whatever it is. We cannot deny the aspect of our consciousness that is draconian. And even just saying that, there's a whole realm of the New Age community that demonizes draconian magic because of how draconian magic has been associated with hoarding of wealth. But dragons once roamed the sky and the earth as masters. And when you look, coming full circle with this reading, in a river, if you're able to see all of the trash and the money, literal physical coins that get washed up into the deep, dark unconsciousness of the water that is our planet, you would see that unconsciousness hoards all things that we don't know how to control. And so I want you to connect those two messages, weave together all of the information that came through in this intuitive reading today. And I'm going to leave you with a message of embracing your multiplicity, because this next step in your journey asks you to awaken to the fact that you're here to do so many things. You're multifaceted, like the many feathers on a peacock. And Spirit wants to reflect through you its own multiplicity, because you're meant for big things. You're decentering arrogance. And how fitting that that message came through of the decentering toxic masculinity, because you cannot work with your dragon until you do that, or you will be terrified. Because when your dragon stands to roar and blow fire over you, you would think that it's after you, but it's actually after all that does not serve you, burning away what you thought was you. All of this is super inspired by my own dad, who my whole life has been obsessed with dragons and even writes about them. So how beautiful that the first video on this channel came through about a dragon. My name here is Hyacinth Dragon. Catch me doing readings here. And you'll see how often the dragon comes through. But how fitting that I'm here to reflect that to you as well. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in another reading.